Well, here we are. It's Monday again. Happy Monday. It's not an oxymoron, not around here. It could happen. It's happening. Let's get into the weather. There's a lot going on, of course, always. And our spotlight this morning, I think I'll call it spotlight. Maybe it is our headline. I don't know. But this is snow for the next 2 days in the Pacific Northwest, the northwestern part of the country. And the heaviest snow on this map is southern Oregon. So around Crater Lake, the Sisters, those southern Oregon Cascades. I mean, we're looking at another 2 feet of snow, maybe more. And that spreads into eastern Oregon. So, I mean, you see those amounts half a foot or more for southern eastern Oregon. And so a lot of snow still coming down in southern Oregon for the next couple of days. Northern California, you're still not out of the woods. More snow on top of your blizzard. That, 10 feet of snow verified in many places in the Sierra Nevada and blowing around, and could see a couple more feet in some areas. Get into Idaho too. This is not down to the valleys in Boise, but the mountains above to the north of Boise, a lot of snow there as well. I mean, another couple feet there, maybe even higher amounts in places, and also around Yellowstone, very heavy snow, lots of snow still to come in the Pacific Northwest, but it will get better over time. All right, let's check out the hazards right now. Things are quieting down across the country, so not a lot of watches and warnings to speak of, except for in the Northwest, where we just looked at the heavy snow potential, and that's where we see our winter storm warnings: southern Oregon, northern California. Winter weather advisories north of that in Oregon, also in the mountains of Idaho, and then further north, north of Spokane, the Idaho Panhandle, winter weather advisories. Also getting, eastern Idaho into, what do you call that? Southwestern Montana, I suppose. And then just adjacent to that, winter storm watch for the Yellowstone Park area. And winter weather advisory there for parts of Nevada. So I always think about Yellowstone, Jellystone. Get some picnic baskets while you're dodging the snow, Yogi. All right, here are the surface map for today and what's going on. And there is a little bit of red on this map. You see in Louisiana, heavy rain, flash flooding is possible there. Otherwise, it's general thunderstorms from Canada into Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Florida, all with a chance of storms. We had some thunder this morning. It was glorious. If it's not going to snow, my second favorite thing is thunderstorms. So we had a few thunderstorms nearby this morning here in western Iowa. It's kind of nice. All right, further to the north, it's a mix of precipitation, Wisconsin, Minnesota, into the UP of Michigan. All right, when we get to the west, of course, that's where our heavy snow is. Southern Oregon, northern California, a mix in the lower elevations still for Washington, Oregon, and it's snow eastern Oregon, eastern Washington, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Nevada, and Colorado. That's what's going on today. Today's highs still on the warm side. We do have that cold front. It's not moving very quickly, but moving through Iowa last night, moving into Missouri, Illinois today, in theory, trying to get through Kansas into Oklahoma. And you get east of that line, and we still have temperatures in the 80s in Texas, 70s and 80s, 70s Arkansas, 70s Missouri, 70s Illinois. It's quite warm all across the South, 70s, 80s in Florida. And even on the East Coast, we're seeing very warm temperatures. South Carolina in the 70s, North Carolina some 70s and some 60s into Virginia, and even Pennsylvania seeing some 60s. To get, to the 50s, your northern New Jersey into the rest of New England with 40s for Boston and in Maine. Tomorrow's surface looks like that. That cold front moving through Illinois, Missouri, not making huge progress, but it is moving slowly eastward. And we see the thunderstorms east of that still, and then just regular rain along the East Coast. And then back behind it, persisting snows, Colorado, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, Utah, Nevada, Oregon. Still some heavy snow possible, southern Oregon into Idaho, and also Wyoming near Yellowstone. And some rain and snow in California, northern California. Highs tomorrow, they're getting shunted further east, those warmer temperatures, but they're still quite warm. 80s still Florida, lots of 70s for the south and even into the Midwest. 60s as you get further north into Indiana, Ohio, and up into Pennsylvania, and then 50s for New England and more 40s on this map. But look at Texas. We got a couple 90s on there, or 87 Austin, 90 San Antonio. I guess it's getting to be that time of year. And then the cold stuff behind the front, as you would expect, by definition of a cold front. 40s, and even some teens still up there in North Dakota. So it's kind of cold. There's winter's hanging on a little bit. In North Dakota, they call that spring. Surface for Wednesday looks like this. More rain for the east. Thunderstorms now North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. And a new area of thunderstorms, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Kansas. And we actually have a chance for severe weather coming up in Texas and Louisiana. We'll show you that here in just a second. That's our next map. But real quick, another bout of snow for North Dakota, and then still snowing in southern Oregon, northern California, Nevada, Idaho, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, but no heavy snow on this map. So we'll see how that all works out. Here's the severe threat. This is Thursday, Friday. So Dallas, you're included. Austin, you're included, just north of San Antonio and to the points east, and as far west as maybe Abilene, and then into northern Louisiana like Shreveport and into portions of Mississippi. To have a slight risk or a 15% risk of severe weather this far out. I mean, this is Thursday, Friday. Today's Monday. So 1, 2, 3, Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. 3-4 days out. This is really something to keep an eye on. This could get rough. And then Friday, Saturday, that area shifts a little bit, but there's lots of overlap in Louisiana and East Texas. But now moving further into Mississippi, Alabama, the panhandle of Florida. So just keep it in the back of your mind, and towards the end of the week, we could be seeing some severe weather in this area. How does all this look on the GFS? Well, it looks like this. We're starting at noontime, an hour from now, on our map, and as we move it forward in time, we see showers and thunderstorms as depicted on our surface map from Canada through Michigan, all the way through Illinois, Missouri, Indiana. You get the idea, all the way down to the Gulf Coast. And a little bit, our low here still spinning around for Maryland and Virginia for some showers and some thunderstorms embedded in that. Delaware, U2, moving into New Jersey in the west. Where's the snow? Mostly southern Oregon and northern California. Kind of crazy. All right, as we move forward in time, you see some heavy rain along the Gulf Coast, Florida Panhandle, into Alabama, into Georgia. So good soaking heading your way. Atlanta, this is Tuesday morning, tomorrow morning, and then the heavy snow still in southern Oregon, northern California, lingering showers with embedded storms, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois. This heavy rain continues in southern Georgia into Florida. And a nice storm here. This is almost right on top of Nashville. Looking, let's see, Tuesday afternoon. So Nashville, look for a storm Tuesday afternoon if this comes exactly true. And some rain through Ohio into Kentucky. And now we're seeing more showers and storms here in Arkansas, kind of late Tuesday. This area of heavy snow persisting and moving into Idaho. And then here's why we have a winter storm watch up for Yellowstone as snow starts to move in there Tuesday night into Wednesday. Heavy rain moving into South Carolina out of Georgia. North Carolina getting in on that too. Eastern Kentucky, West Virginia, Ohio, Pennsylvania. Showers getting pretty heavy for North Carolina, South Carolina along the coast and other parts of North Carolina. These storms just off the coast. We're looking at Wednesday morning here. And as we get into the day Wednesday, some of those heavy rain showers moving right up the east coast. So through Delaware, through Maryland, into New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, you might catch the edge of this. Some heavy rain for Long Island into Connecticut as well. always say Connecticut. That's how I learned how to spell it. All right. Some showers along the California coast, central coast. We'll see if this get into Southern California. We're looking at Wednesday afternoon here. And sure enough, Wednesday evening into Thursday morning, showers moving into Southern California. Now remember our severe threat Thursday, Friday in this area. And sure enough, on the GFS, we're starting to see some thunderstorms pop up in parts of Texas and into Arkansas. Our threat was Texas from Dallas down to Abilene, over to Austin, and then through Shreveport. So that's where we're seeing our strongest storms depicted on the GFS model. And then as we get through the day, Thursday and into Friday, we see some of that severe weather shifting further to the east, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Louisiana still a possibility, but otherwise it's showers with some heavy rain possible with embedded thunderstorms all across the southeast where there's been heavy rain for the last few days. All week looks just really wet here. And then for the Ohio Valley, fairly wet, and even for Illinois, Indiana, into Michigan. Now this particular low is cold enough for some snow for Wisconsin, parts of northeastern Iowa, maybe even a little patch of snow in Nebraska. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe. And then the snow for the UP of Michigan. Thunderstorms for the rest of Michigan. Trailing storms, very heavy rain for Georgia, moving into South Carolina. This is Friday night into Saturday. Do you see that little patch of snow here? Eastern Colorado, northeastern New Mexico. Clayton, New Mexico. You might be seeing some snow Friday night. And then into Saturday morning, our rain continues in the southeast. We have some snow in Michigan and rain moving into New England. A little bit of snow first, changing to rain for Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire. Yep. And then Maine gets some snow and then some heavy rain for parts of New England as we get into Sunday morning now. Some heavy rain along the coast of New England. And that storm, while it lifts north, is pulling some snow back behind it for Vermont, New Hampshire, into Maine. Light snow for Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and a little bit more of a stronger system moving into Vancouver Island and starting to affect Washington State here. This is Saturday morning, 10 o'clock for Washington. And we'll see that storm move on shore as we get into the day on Monday, bringing rain and snow back to the Pacific Northwest and Northern California. So the hits keep on coming. There's a lot going on. And with the increased moisture across the country, that's pretty good news for a lot of people. Maybe a little too much for some. I think California would like for it to end. And even, Southern Oregon especially has just been hammered with snow and rain along the coast. So here are your trends we're talking March 11th through the 17th. A lot of green for St. Patrick's Day. This is really good news for the Central Plains. So that bullseye, Nebraska, Kansas, Western Iowa, Eastern Colorado, we need the moisture. So if it's rain, if it's snow, if it's thunderstorms, we will take it. So this is really good news if it comes true. And then along the Gulf Coast, we see this week is going to be very wet. And if, according to at least the probabilities, it might stay wet as we get into the third week of March even. Temperatures starting to moderate West Coast, not as cold for as wide an area, but the Northwest still staying on the cool side if this comes true. And then the eastern 2/3 of the country on the warm side, the exception, the Southeast, where all that rain is coming down, keeping things a little bit cooler. So that's the look at things as they stand on this Monday afternoon, my lunch hour. I'm going to get back to work. You have a great rest of your day. And Lord willing, the creek don't rise. We'll see you tomorrow on the Weather Mic.